Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting straight to the core of a really big figure, Karl Marx, the German philosopher, economist, revolutionary socialist. I mean, his ideas really did shape modern thought. They still echo today.
Absolutely. And our mission here really is to kind of distill the key insights from what we've looked at about his life, his theories, society, economics, politics,
Yeah.
and his huge global impact.
Right.
We want you to walk away understanding why people call him a, quote, principal architect of modern social science,
Okay.
and how Marxism became, a whole school of thought.
And when you say Marx, you immediately think of, well, two things mainly, right? The Communist Manifesto.
1848, that pamphlet.
Super impactful. And then the big one, Das Kapital, all 4 volumes.
Right, published over quite a span, 1867 to 83.
It's genuinely striking, though. Here's this guy living in actual dire poverty in 19th century London, and he creates ideas that still fuel protests, shape economic policy. How does that happen, that staying power?
Well, it's fascinating. He was born 1818, Trier, Germany, started in law, but pretty quickly jumped into philosophy. Hegel was a big influence early on.
Okay.
But his ideas weren't just, ivory tower stuff. They came from real struggle. He married Jenny von Westphalen, became a journalist.
His writings got him into trouble.
Great trouble. Led to him being stateless, actually. Spent decades exiled in London, often in really tough economic spots.
Wow.
Relied a lot on Friedrich Engels, his collaborator, for support, both financial and intellectual.
So that personal struggle, being stateless, being poor, that must have deeply shaped how he saw economic systems.
Oh, undoubtedly.
It seems almost ironic, a stateless man conceptualizing a global workers' movement. How did that experience feed into his most radical idea? That society isn't really shaped by leaders or ideas, but something else.
Precisely. That's where historical materialism comes in. It's a core concept.
Okay.
He argued that the material side of life, basically, how we produce things, how the economy is organized, that's what really drives history.
Not just ideas floating around.
Exactly. Not just politics or culture on their own. He saw the economic structure as the foundation, the base, and everything else, politics, law, culture, ideas, gets built on top of that. The superstructure.
That was a huge shift in thinking, wasn't it?
Massive. A whole new way to analyze society.
And inside that material framework, he saw this constant tension, the class struggle.
Always.
Between the haves and have-nots. How did he define that, especially under capitalism?
That's his famous division, the bourgeoisie.
The owners.
Right. They own the means of production, factories, land, capital, all that. And then the proletariat.
The working class.
The workers, who only have their labor power to sell for a wage.
Okay.
And for Marx, capitalism has this built-in thing he called surplus value.
Surplus value, right.
It's the idea that workers, through their labor, create more value than they actually get paid in wages.
And that difference.
That difference is the profit that goes to the capitalist, the owner. For Marx, this wasn't just unfair. It was the very engine driving the conflict between these two classes.
An inherent conflict.
Yes, one he believed would eventually, inevitably, cause the whole system to break down from within.
So he wasn't just analyzing capitalism, he was predicting its demise and pushing for revolution to get to socialism.
He's definitely an activist, not just a theorist.
And it's amazing how that framework, born in the 1800s, is still part of the conversation today. Where do we see that impact most clearly now?
It really is remarkable. His work on labor and capital, it laid the groundwork for theories we still debate.
Like what?
Modern labor economics, definitely. Understanding wealth distribution, inequality. These are huge topics today. His ideas aren't just historical footnotes. They've influenced labor movements, post-colonial thought, critical theory, even how we analyze global capitalism now, technology's role.
So that core idea of examining power, the dynamic between capital and labor, that persists.
Incredibly persistent, yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap this a bit. At its heart, Marx's theory is about human society evolving through class struggle. Specifically, under capitalism, it's this fight between the ruling bourgeoisie and the working proletariat.
That's a good summary of the core conflict he identified.
And it's just striking how relevant those ideas can feel, even though they came from specific 19th century context and, his own pretty difficult life. Statelessness, poverty.
Indeed. And look, his framework, his way of analyzing, you don't have to agree with all of it, or any of it, really.
True.
But it still offers this powerful lens, doesn't it? A way to look at wealth, at labor, at how our societies are structured, it forces you to ask fundamental questions.
Like who benefits?
Exactly. Who benefits and who maybe doesn't from the economic systems we live in?
It really does make you wonder, though. Why do those questions, who gains, who loses questions, rooted in his time and his hardship, why do they still feel so, I don't know, urgent for us today?
That's the provocative thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'd invite you, the listener, to maybe think about that. How do Marx's ways of looking at wealth, labor, social structures,
Yeah.
how might they still help us unpack what's going on in our own world right now?
Something to chew on.
Definitely. Keep thinking about it.